There was once a village where the earth had forgotten how to smile. The fields were cracked like broken pottery. The rivers had thinned into silent threads, and the wind carried more dust than hope. For 3 long years, not a single drop of rain had fallen. People stopped singing. Children stopped playing. Even the sunrise felt tired. The elders often gathered beneath the oldest tree in the village and whispered the same painful words. Nothing grows here anymore, not even dreams. But they were wrong. Because in that same village lived a quiet boy named Ion, a boy who still believed something could. Ion was not the strongest child. He wasn't the loudest either. But inside his small heart lived a stubborn kind of hope. Every evening, while the villagers shut their doors against another hungry night, Ion walked toward the barren land carrying a tiny wooden bucket. Inside it, barely enough water for a single plant. Yet what he did with that water confused everyone. Instead of planting seeds, Ion planted dead sticks, dry, lifeless, broken branches gathered from the forest floor. The villagers watched from a distance. Some shook their heads, some laughed softly. "Grief has made the boy foolish," they said. "Water is too precious for fantasies." But Ion never argued. He simply dug small holes into the stubborn earth, placed each stick gently inside, and poured a few drops of water over it, as if tucking it into bed. Long before the drought, Ion's mother used to tell him, "Hope is like a seed. You may not see it growing, but beneath the soil, life is preparing a miracle." She had passed away the summer the rain stopped, but her words stayed. So every time doubt crept in, Ion planted another stick. Not because he was sure it would grow, but because he refused to let hope die. One night, under a low amber moon, Ion was watering the sticks when he heard footsteps behind him. An old traveler stood there, robes dusty from the road, eyes sharp with curiosity. He watched silently before asking, "Tell me, child, why give water to wood that cannot drink?" Ion wiped sweat from his forehead. "My mother believed that caring for something even when it looks lifeless is never a waste." The traveler studied the rows of planted sticks. "Do you truly think they will grow?" Ion paused. Then answered softly, "I don't know. But if I stop believing, nothing ever will." For the first time in many seasons, the traveler smiled, and without another word, he disappeared into the night. Days turned into weeks. The sun remained merciless. The ground remained silent. Some mornings, Ion searched for even the smallest hint of green, and found none. For a moment, doubt whispered, what if they were right? But instead of quitting, he brought more water, sometimes only a cup, sometimes only a handful, because hope, he believed, was not proven by results. It was proven by persistence. Then, one ordinary morning, a scream echoed across the fields. Not a scream of fear, but of wonder. A little girl stood frozen near the planted sticks, pointing at the soil. The villagers rushed over, and there it was, a fragile ribbon of green, pushing through the cracked earth. Then another, and another. Within days, the barren patch shimmered with life. The sticks were not dead. They were dormant, cuttings quietly growing roots, deep below where no one could see. By the end of the season, tall trees crowned the land. Their leaves shimmered silver in sunlight, whispering like rain even when the sky was clear. But their greatest miracle lay underground. These trees pulled hidden moisture upward, restoring the soil, cooling the air, calling life back home. Birds returned first, then grass, then crops, and slowly, so did laughter. During the village's first harvest festival, in years lanterns glowing, music rising, a familiar figure appeared. The old traveler. But this time, he was welcomed with gratitude. He revealed the truth. He was a wandering botanist, searching for someone who still believed in renewal. The sticks were rare desert cuttings capable of surviving the harshest drought. But they had one condition: they only grow where someone is patient enough to care for what appears lifeless. The traveler looked toward Ion. Many villages had these cuttings, he said. But yours is the only one where they bloomed, because hope lived here, in the heart of one child. From that day forward, whenever fear returned, whenever seasons felt uncertain, the villagers walked through what they now called the Silver Forest. Parents told their children, great change rarely begins with crowds. It begins with one person, brave enough to believe. And Ion. He never called himself a hero. He simply kept planting, because he understood something most people forget. The future does not grow from certainty. It grows from courage. Remember, the world may sometimes look barren, efforts may seem invisible, and hope may feel foolish. But roots grow in darkness long before we see the leaves. So if you ever feel like giving up, think of the boy who planted shadows and grew a forest. Never underestimate the power of patience and belief. What looks lifeless today may become tomorrow's miracle. Real change begins with one hopeful heart. Thanks for watching.